Okay. Shalom, everyone. Good to be together. So wonderful to continue this series of mindful moments and our journey through the book of Psalms. I'm Rabbi Danielle Upton, and it is my privilege to be able to study and experience the wisdom and the spirituality of these Psalms together, to understand their application to our lives. These beautiful ancient words have timeless application, and so we will take a look at that together today with Psalm 27, which is the Psalm of the season. The Psalm of the season being preparing for Rosh Hashanah. We recite the Psalm 27 throughout the month of Elul, and so we recite it today as well. Today we will just be looking at one line, maybe my favorite, which is the Achat Sha'alti Me'et Adonai Ota Shifti beveit Adonai kol yemei chayai lachazot benoam Adonai ulevaker behechalo. So we'll be looking at that psalm, at that particular line. Before we even begin, I'd like to blow the shofar, because when we recite the psalm in the morning, we also blow the shofar. Let's see if I have it. I do. Okay. And so it's customary to stand, but if you've already heard the shofar today, or if that's not comfortable for you, be as you are. I'm going to stand and blow the shofar as we do each morning throughout the month of Elul, except for Shabbat, of course. I don't know how that came through without the noise cancellation. It's the shofar that we experience every day through the month of Elul. The sound of the shofar is meant to be an alarm clock. It is a heart opener. It's opening ourselves to divine wisdom and to our own inner wisdom as we connect with our favorite version of ourselves, with the person who we want to be presenting and experiencing in an inner way and an external way. Right? In Hebrew, we call that the tocho kaboro, like the inner matches the outer, so that we have a seamless being presenting ourselves to the created in the image of the divine. Let's take a look at our text today, which is, again, it's line of the Psalm of Psalm 27. And let's get this in a full screen. Okay. Are you able to see the text? Thumbs up? Yeah, okay, great. All right. Psalm 27, only one thing. I invite you already to come into your own posture of meditation, of mindfulness, of awakeness, of presence. Maybe even say the word with me, Hineni. Hineni. Hineni is I'm present, I'm here, and I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to be ready. And so this psalm, like I said a few minutes ago, accompanies the sound of the shofar. So I heard it over here. Maybe you heard it, or you can find your own shofar and you could blow that at home, or attend a synagogue service where a shofar is blown. We recite Psalm 27 at night and in the morning. And it invites us, the psalm itself and the blowing of the shofar, into a process of cheshbon hanefesh, of an accounting of the soul. Now, I'm not an accountant, but I do come from a long line of accountants. And the idea of an accounting is taking stock, is seeing the reality, right? Numbers don't lie, right? So the numbers, as it were, as they're represented in our deeds, our actions, our words, in how we show up in the world. There is this process of cheshbon hanefesh. Again, that's a Hebrew word, and it means taking stock of the soul, an accounting of the soul. And it's that inner work that's required of us throughout the season. We can talk more about that, but I'd like at this moment to delve into one line of this beautiful psalm that will take us into our meditation for today. The line is, Achat shalti meit Adonai, ota avakesh, shivti beveit Adonai, kol yemei chayai, lachazot benoam Adonai, ulevaker beheichalo. One thing I ask of God, one thing do I seek, to live in God's house all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of God. And the meaning is a little uncertain, but to frequent in God's temple. Again, think for yourself. What is this word God, Lord, divinity, light, eternal, fluidity, spirit, love? Your word for God is the word that we are working with here. I don't know. I can't profess to say what is the name of this divinity, right? Of this light, of this love that opens your heart, right? So I tend to default to God, Adonai, a traditional language, but my invitation to you, that it's an open invitation, is to always reword for yourself. How am I feeling God's presence? Is it as a protector, as a feeling of love? Is it rock? Right? Is it redeemer? Whenever that word is, because you can't define God in a word, right? It's a whole state of being. It's a whole thing. So there's a lot of God language here. So again, it's thinking about what is that aspect of God that I'm connecting to, right? As I move through the day, as I move through the words of this psalm. So it's kind of funny because the psalmist says, only one thing I ask of you, God, only one. Okay, one is singularity. Singularity, it confronts, singularity halts expansion. If you say, I only want one thing, right? It's like monovision. It's like, I'm only seeing this. This is the only thing, one thing. But what's the one thing I'm asking? It has nothing to do with rescue. It has nothing to do with victory. It has nothing to do with redemption. It has nothing to do with, go after my enemies, right? A lot of the words that we tend to think about in a review in the book of Psalms that David, the author, we say, is asking for all kinds of things. But in this case, the one thing is to dwell in God's house. But more than that, as we'll see, it's a one thing that opens up to many things, right? So what is this one thing? To be near God, to be in God's house, to be in God's presence. And there's no enemy here. The enemy disappears. Right? We're just talking about presence, full hineni presence, full hineni presence. The Malbim was one of the commentators on sacred text, on the Torah and Tanakh. Meir Leibush ben Yechiel Michal Wesser is from 1809 to 1879. Put that there for you. He offers that we should pay attention to these two languages of request, sha'alti and avakesh. One thing I ask, sha'alti. One thing I ask, avakesh. Right? In English, like maybe they're not so different, but in Hebrew, there is a difference. So sha'alti, he says, is an expression of request, but bakasha, avakesh, is an unspoken desire of the heart. So again, becoming aware for ourselves, right? What are we really asking for? What do we really need? And seeking to and striving to align, right? That innermost, deepest request of our hearts, right? And what we express with our words, what we express with our prayers, right? Trying to merge the inner and the outer. Another midrash that we have here, the Midrash Shocher Tov, and he says, this is also just midrash on Tehillim, on the nature of this one request. So he says, the Holy One, blessed be, he said to David, first you said, only one thing I've asked of you, but then you proceed to ask for many things. like behold the delight of God, to meditate in God's sanctuary. And, like, what's up with that? And David replies, hey, sovereign of the universe, shouldn't the servant imitate the ways of the master? Because you too have said in the past, you ask for one thing, but really you're asking for a lot of things. For instance, as we read in the Torah, in the book of Devarim, in our weekly Torah portion, and now, Israel, what does God ask of you? Except that you should fear God, yirah, which we've talked about together here. But then you proceed to demand many things, to go in all of God's ways, to love God, to serve God. Right? So these are, you can say it's not really a problem here. This is like a topic sentence, right, of the one thing, and then all the subtopics that go into an expression of the one thing that we're asking for. But if you're a literalist, right, helping you to unpack that the one thing may be many things or facets of many things. What is the central message of Psalm 27? Why is it relevant today? According to the Talmudic tradition, the book of Psalms was written by King David, right? As we know, that we say, right? Le David, Mizmor le David. And King David was a warrior. He was a king warrior, devoted much of his life, right, to battle, to fighting, inner battle, right, as well as external battle. And this psalm is special because it's asking for refuge from all that. Right? It's not asking for military victory, right? The things, of course, that we still are striving for. We hope that our enemies will change their minds about us, right? And that ultimately that there will be peace and redemption, and that the lion will lay with the lamb, right? And the baby will play over the hole of the viper's home, that kind of thing that Isaiah explicates. But here we just want a moment of peace to dwell in a space where we're comforted, where we're protected. We are dwelling in divine light. So this last piece here, and then we'll move into our meditation. Rabbi David Kimchi offers that in his commentary to let us know with all his heart, right? The author here is asking for respite from those wars, from the battles, right, that we all experience as well. Maybe not physically going, out and into battle, but the ways in which we experience battling in our own lives in all the ways, right? All the ways, right? Internal and external. And even though the author, we say, has faith, right, that God will save him from all harm, that's like a physical request. And here, the author is recognizing that we sometimes have these spiritual needs. We have these spiritual needs, right? So again, the toho kaboro, like striving to align the external to the internal, right? That the spiritual and the physical needs, are kind of all wrapped up into one. So this one request, right, which I'm going to stop my share, which opens to many, this request, this deep, deep, deep desire, right, to dwell in God's house, and to feel that safety and security. Well, my blessing for us as we move into this meditation is that we recognize that wherever we are already there. We're already in the sheltering embrace of divine light and love. And maybe all that's required of us is a paradigm shift, a mental shift, an attitude shift, to see even a little bit of that glimmer wherever we are. Okay. So I invite you to close your eyes if you have not already. Find a soft, gentle gaze as we move into the next few minutes together in a meditation on dwelling in God's house, which is in the here and now. Again, you might feel comfortable to close your screen or just to close your eyes. Become aware of your own space, your own place, your own awareness of inhabiting a body, a physical body, mental body, and spiritual body. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose and exhale. Inhale and exhale at your own pace. Of course, we're always inhaling and exhaling, but the invitation here is to become mindful of the breath as an anchoring resource when we're feeling like we need to escape, find refuge, that we need a minute, we need a break. Starts with the breath. The breath reminds us we're alive, we're connected. And as best as we can, some of us have issues with our breath. And of course, we're not all the same. Maybe even just noticing, how are you feeling today? And energetically sending the breath to any places in the body, in the spirit that need a little extra love, a little extra space. I'm prompting here for seated meditation, but of course, if you're walking or laying down, that's fine as well. Feeling your feet connected to the ground, feeling the energy of earth beneath your feet, creating a little more space around the heart center. Feeling breath as it moves through the rib cage, back, chest, belly. And sending energy out through the crown of the head. Sustaining that connection between heaven and earth. Always. This is always a posture to return to, an awareness that we hover between heaven and earth. And the stuff that we're made of is heaven and earth. Whatever sounds or sights that are around you, they're part of the heaven and earth spectrum. And they are in the here and now. Allowing whatever you're hearing or whatever is around to be part of this meditation. Not a distraction. It's just part of the house that you're in the world that we live in. Feel your body supported just as it is. Just as it is. The hands can be gently laying on the lap or on a table in front of you. Palms face down for a little more grounded. Facing up for a little more uplift. Just one more time, noticing the body, feeling supported. Sending love and breath to any points of constriction, body or spirit. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai. One thing that I ask, to dwell in your house, to dwell in that divine abode. That divine abode is here at this very moment with every breath, every beat of our heart, every sound around us. It is all held in divine presence. Allow yourself to rest in this awareness. You are dwelling in God's house at this very moment. You are sheltered in peace. Stay here for a few breaths, soaking in this stillness. Just notice what you see or hear. Notice the spaciousness. And feel free to send the essence of this house as far and as wide as you'd like, inviting in as many guests as you'd like. Just taking the time on your own to be with what is God's house. Achat shalti meit Adonai, ota vakesh. Shivti beveit Adonai, כל ימי חיי לחזות בנועם אדוני ולבקר בהיכלו. Beginning to bring our awareness back to our shared space. As we conclude with shalom, a blessing for peace, wholeness, well-being, and healing for all of us, our loved ones, humanity, and the earth itself. Together 3 times. Shalom. 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 Chodesh Tov, everyone. A good month and a wonderful rest of the day. This concludes our meditation, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Danielle.